judge me.
Welcome back to the Don't Judge Me podcast. You're David Sir Nygel, the House of Way Files from the Dark Gray Triad. Always looking left because I'm not right. We missed Pimp Day. 10 out of 10. That was the other day.
Pimp?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
I don't understand.
The date, October 10th?
No, I understand the date, but pimp?
Yeah, because I guess you're a 10 out of 10. I don't know.
All right, whatever. We missed it. It happens like that sometimes. But he's Sir Nygel. I'm J. Delnegro, and welcome back to the Don't Judge Me podcast. Or if you're a first-time listener, welcome to the Don't Judge Me podcast, and thank you for joining us in judgment. Again, I'm J. Delnegro, and he is Sir Nygel, and you are the jury, and as a member of the jury, it is your responsibility to judge with us any and everything we bring to you. To do that, you can get in contact with us by email at don'tjudgepod@gmail.com, or you can call us at 202-642-9398. And once we receive what you have to say, we will include and incorporate that into a future episode. Also, you can find us on the interwebs at Don't Judge Pod, on YouTube at Don't Judge Me Podcast. That's YouTube. I'm sorry. Don't Judge Pod is Instagram. Don't Judge Me Podcast is YouTube. So make sure you continue to follow us all over these social media streets. Sir Nygel, it is episode 209. In the segment coming up after us talking for a brief moment, we will be talking to Mr. Rob Lee. And I think our audience will enjoy themselves. But we'll get to that when it's time to get to that. But what's been going on with you, sir?
Nothing
You had a big trip coming up, man.
Yeah, going to Kentucky.
We
finalized the plans yesterday. Going when we land, we're going to go on a distillery tour.
Liquor.
Yep. Then we're gonna go pick up our packets, which is pretty much
for the race,
medal and the shirt,
your number and stuff like that.
Yep, and then lumber, first medal. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we're gonna hit like another liquor place.
Liquor.
Next day, the race.
Racing.
There's a sampler, whatchamacallit, that we're gonna be doing.
Okay.
Where after the race, we essentially be able to taste the different distilleries.
A lot of liquor.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's a liquor race, right?
Well, it is. It's called the Urban
whiskey.
Bourbon.
Oh, yeah. Bourbon. It's a bourbon race. Okay.
Yeah. So, after that, we're gonna go to another.
My God,
tour.
What liver?
Yeah,
your poor liver.
But it's all samples. Like, I mean, honestly, I've drank, so honestly, this is probably not gonna be much. And then
bourbon's brown though, right?
Yeah.
So you might start fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because brown liquor.
But it's funny because I feel like I usually am a bourbon drinker. Okay. I don't really get I guess violent or anything where I would want to fight. I get more. My fuck it lowers, but I don't fight. I might say something really reckless.
Okay.
More so than regular, but my drink of choice is bourbon. I actually don't like vodkas or gins or anything of that nature. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to trying different versions. I've only known like Bullet or Southern Comfort or.
Is there such thing as like low end bourbon?
Oh yeah, there definitely is. We had one called Virginia Lightning once. It was
that
in a
sounds
plastic
like
bottle.
Kirkland brand.
Yeah, it was definitely very
bourbon.
suspicious. And then after the second day tour, we're gonna go to this place that I wanted to go to called Whiskey Thief.
Is that a bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's another distillery, but apparently everything closes at like 9-10 o'clock. So
you got to rush in all this liquor.
Yeah, well, not necessarily rush, but like, it's not like a club scene or a bar scene. It's like legit like businesses.
You're in Lexington? Is that where you're going? No, you're going to Louisville. It's a college town, though.
But everything was like shutting down like 9-10 o'clock. So, I mean, it works out because that also means that we're not going to be out late. And it's just going to be me and essentially my two friends who happen to be the married couple that I went to West Virginia with.
Good luck.
Yeah. No, it should be fun.
Good luck in Kentucky.
But that did inspire me because I told the wife who runs marathon, she's actually running the half marathon. We're doing the 5K.
Because you're wussies.
Yeah. Well, I'm not prepared to run 13 miles at all. I mean, I probably could, but I probably wouldn't make time. You know what I'm saying? I probably could like do a very mediocre pace. Like, because even when I walk in the morning, it's at a 4 speed on the treadmill. So, like, in theory, like when I used to run, it was like a 3.5. So, like, I literally probably could just walk really fast. Like, even when I hoof it up to the metro, I be passing people.
Yeah.
Like, I be legit, like, walking mad fast, yo. And it's like, I don't need to be hustling like that. But I just like I'm used to walking at that speed, so that's how I walk. But I signed up for another 4K, and that's going to be on the 1st of November.
Oh, local
5K.
Local?
Yeah, it's at the National Harbor.
Is that the superhero one?
Oh, that's the cider one. The hot.
Oh, the hot cider one. Got it.
So I'm doing that one. I'll get another medal. So I'm gonna have 2 medals in pretty much the month of October.
I think they've created a monster.
Yes,
you have.
I've always wanted to get medals from doing 5Ks and marathons, and I technically was never in the shape to do it, and now I am moderately in shape. So I'm gonna try.
Go for it, bro.
Yeah, so that's 2. I'm trying to get some other ones, but there's some really weird ones. It's just like Ralph's brain. I'm like, okay, let me read about this.
If
Ralph died of an aneurysm, and then we're having a 5K in his honor, and it's like, oh, that's dark. I don't want to support.
Well, it's an easy way to make money.
Yeah, no. But I mean, I kind of want to do stuff that like I want a medal that seems cool to me.
We could start a 5K. See, we could do something like get some grant money to offer something back to the community so that we can cover the initial cost.
Yeah.
Like, roping off streets, having a police presence and ambulance presence, and having some medals and certificates and T-shirts and all that good stuff. And then have people pay a fee of like $50 to do a 5K.
Usually it is around $50, and then even now I noticed a lot of the because after of course I signed up for the 2, my Instagram was bombarded with here's the Goblin Run, the hot cocoa run.
And we could don't judge me 5K could happen.
It really could, or even shoeless strippers, and all it is, the medal is just 2 feet.
Yeah. We just have to come up with a backstory. That's
2
good.
feet and a thong on the jump.
And we could start the thong. This could be the precursor. The 5K could lead to the museum that has the thong exhibition.
Yep.
Wait till you get to the second half of the show and you'll hear about the thong exhibition. Exactly. But that's encouraging and dope. Like I also have the ambition of completing 5Ks and maybe a 10K one day. I don't know if I'm going to go beyond that because I don't want like the bloody toes and missing toenails and from like distance running, right? I don't want the bloody feet.
Oh yeah, or even like the bloody nips.
Yes, because chafing and stuff like it.
Yeah, I definitely have like fucked my whole upper body.
you got to put on some cream. As a joke, 1 year at work we did. I don't know if it was, I think it was like holiday gift exchange. Okay. And 1 year I got one of my team members chafing cream for like bike riding. He doesn't ride bikes. It was just the name of the cream was something like ass lube. It had a crazy name. Like that, it had like the bottle was shaped like a bike seat. Like it was phallic and everything about it was just about penis. And that was the joke. But you got to use something like that to cut back on injuries.
Oh yeah, no, true. But then also, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was the best. It was the best gift that was exchanged that year, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah. But no, I would support that. I'm all about silly gifts. I mean, even like remember the one I got you a long time ago, the chicken wing. Yeah, the chicken wing flash drive.
Yeah, I have some stuff on it. I still have the chicken wing.
It was catered enough where it was like
it's in my bag. It's in my bag.
Silly, but also. It has like
my thing is chicken wings, everybody. I love chicken wings. So if you really want to get to J. Delnegro's heart, you get him chicken wings. And so Nygel, we were in a meeting and icebreakers or something like that. And they asked a silly question like, if you could travel back to any point in time, and I was like 10 years ago, like I don't want to go back to the 60s. And it was another thing that they asked, and I was like, chicken wings. We had to write them down on like cards or something like that.
Yeah.
What makes you happy? It's like chicken wings. Like just give me some chicken wings, good to go. And there it is. So I'm good to go with chicken wings. I don't have a whole lot going on. I might have a whole lot going on by the time we record again. And I don't want to save that for then. And it could be interesting. You and I talked about it.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you about it. But
we don't have a decision yet, so I don't have anything to share as of yet. But that might get interesting. But overall, like things have been pretty solid. No worry, no cry. We might lose voting rights, but whatever. It's America, right? Like it's just what the fuck we have in front of us right now. Not a lot. It's the not a lot time of year. Traffic was awful today. The sun's going down earlier, and that's awful.
Yeah, like, it's honestly the cold weather is kind of fucking with me.
It came out of nowhere. Like one day it was 80, the next day it was 65.
Well, but also it's still inconsistent because for you guys listening, I walk to the metro to and from. In the morning, it's 30 degrees. So as you can imagine, I have a thermal, I have a t-shirt, I have a hoodie, I have a jacket, I have a beanie, I have thermal pants, I have jeans, I have these I guess like snow and waterproof boots that are kind of heavy. So in the morning, I'm locked in. But when I come home and it's 80 degrees, your boy comes home drenched. Like I am. And the thing is, I'm only have my backpack, so I can't even like put the shit somewhere else, right? So like, even if I try to put it like on the strap, I'm still carrying it, and it's still hot. So I wound up just like fucking come home and having to like take a shower because it's like my tank top is drenched, my thermal's drenched, and I'm just like, this is so fucking hot. And I wish it could just either stay cold, but it's like cold enough also where I still get the breeze. So it's like it comes off of you. Yeah. But I'm baking the oven right now, and it didn't help with the beanie. I think
it's called pneumonia weather.
Yeah, no, but you saw, I got like, I guess like kind of like I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I think it was because I went to 2 funerals. I started riding the metro, and out here walking in the fucking elements and shit. My body was like, motherfucker,
you should stop. You're doing too much.
No,
that's are you taking vitamin C?
Oh yeah, I take hella vitamins, vitamin C. Like even when I was sick, it was hella orange juice. It's funny because my mom was like, "Why ain't you got medicine in the house?" I was like, "It's too fucking expensive. That's why." Like I ain't got shit. I was like, "I gotta go buy some orange juice." And I think I bought like 2 things of orange juice and like a Nyquil, and it came with like $80 or some shit. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I was like, "I'd rather be sick."
On a completely different scale, before I came here, like I was exhausted, right? And I had given up energy drinks, but I was exhausted. I'm like, I gotta drive. So I was like, all right, I gotta bite the bullet. I bought a bag of Lay's chips and a Red Bull, not the tiny like 6 ounce, but just the next size up.
Yeah, $7.
$7, bro.
I know, cause I bought like a cold brew, and mind you, I make cold brew at home. So I forgot to pack it up because I usually have these glass cans. I went to a gas station, and he was like, $5.30. I was like, bitch, what? Like I almost wanted to smack him because I was like, how dare you?
Insulted. And like when you go to certain gas stations, not to call anyone out, but when you go to certain gas stations, they don't scan anything. They just make up prices behind the plexiglass window. Oh, that's right. And I was just like, nah, this can't be right. He just made it up, but I need it right now. So I ain't like, because my thing is, I'm going to come back tomorrow and get the same, but I'm not. I don't need to prove a point. Yeah. But it was definitely one of those like, $7, this ain't right.
No, I know. But see, that's the thing, man. Like, it's crazy too because they be getting you. And like, you go to these stores and I swear some of these prices, I'd be like, what'd you just say? Because like I said, when I got the orange juice, I literally got 2 big things of orange juice. I think those were like $12 each. And I was just like, yo, that's crazy. And then it was like 2 things of orange juice, like cough drops, and like I think like Robitussin. And it came up to like legit. Oh, it was like soups. I got a couple soups. That all came up to like $90. And I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy.
It's I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm about to just do. I'm about to die. That's what I'm.
It's a lot. It's just you pick and choose your poison. Either die from not getting well, or you can't keep your lights on because you had to pay for some NyQuil.
Yeah, because it fucked my whole budget up.
I can imagine. What can you do? But yeah, like it ain't a whole lot other than this amazing interview that we got coming on the other side of this break. So, podcasting audience, the Don't Judge Me family, the jury, get ready for a good time with Sir Nygel and I and a Mr. Rob Lee.
Don't judge me.
All right, y'all, hold up. Today's guest is somebody special, a Baltimore native, a storyteller, a cultural curator, passionate about amplifying voices that shape our cities and redefine our narratives. Today's guest is the host and creator of The Truth in This Art, a podcast he kicked off way back in 2019, where he's been shining a spotlight on all creative brilliance that makes Baltimore, and like Philly, Philly, DC, well, you get the picture. He's talked to artists, visionaries, thought leaders, and change makers, and some of the folks from creative communities everywhere who are transforming the way we see art, identity, and connection. No negativity, no cliches, just real stories, the real people, and the real art that keeps the truth coming along. The Don't Judge Me audience, please welcome my guy, Mr. Rob Lee of The Truth in This Art podcasting.
Thank you.
It's kind of different to be on the other side of that for once, huh?
I mean, one, that's a fire introduction.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. But no, it is always interesting being on the other side of this conversation. So it was really cool. Thank you for the intro. Thank you for the invite.
You're welcome. And Sir Nygel, if you will, please help our audience get used and introduced to Mr. Robley.
Yeah, right. So, I'm getting new to your content. I haven't known you as long as Jay has. And, I was, I guess doing a deep dive on your Instagram. And, I guess I was just curious, what got you here? Kind of start there and then kind of be able to, I guess, progress it from there.
Yeah. So I've been a podcaster since 2009. And I was really into just sort of current events. I was a fan of like Kevin Smith and Smodcast and all of that stuff. And I was a big audiophile and listening to, talk radio and all. And I was in this day job that I hated. Mm-hmm. I was working at the phone company in Hunt Valley, to be very specific. And I was like, I'm 24 and burnt out. And I just one day, after listening to Smodcast and listening to radio all day, that was the only thing I really took solace in. Went across the street to Best Buy, bought like a Fast Track Pro and some microphones. I was like, let's get weird. And, started just having goofy conversations with my friends, talking about dreams, talking about Albert Hainsworth when he signed with the now defunct Washington Redskins, now Washington Commanders. And I remember the rant of my first podcast. I don't like to talk about sports. So the first podcast I did obviously was a sports podcast complaining about Albert Hainsworth. And I was like, I'm fat. I can make $100 million. Let me clog up the line. That was literally my logic. And I realized I had like a penchant and interest in it, and started just podcasting and started just having conversations, recording them with my friends and crafting it as I went along. That podcast was called Mastermind Team's Robcast, and did that. And at one point I had a network of about 5 podcasts, and I was doing all of the editing, all of the hosting, pretty much me. I'm a podcaster. And I want to say after about 7 years or so, Freddie Gray happened in Baltimore. I in sort of all of the fallout around that, and I had a show I was doing called Metrocast, and you're getting older. I was like, I think 30 at the time, and maybe 31. And I'm like, I need to start being a little bit more serious. I'm enjoying it, but sort of less dick jokes and more something that matters.
More dick jokes over here. Just more dick jokes.
And if you look at the timeline, the universe is sort of changing around us, and that was one of the things. So I was part of a network. I stopped doing all of the 5 that I was recording. It was just Metrocast and Robcast. And I was part of this network with this dude who was an out-of-towner. He talked more shit than a little bit, as they say. And him and his like cadre of people had a lot to say about Baltimore. A lot of negative things to say about Baltimore.
Oh, no. Okay.
And a lot of just baby mamas and hood rats in the city while the city is having these protests and all of that. And I burned that bridge. I lit the bridge on fire. And I was just like, this might be a lane. This might be something, because it's always been important to me. And this is sort of pre-Trump. Get to 2019. Trump says the goofy thing about Baltimore, just a city filled with rats. And I just remember I just felt emboldened to start doing interviews with folks that I knew to try to disprove that idea and disprove sort of the continuing idea of a bad city or bad places. And I thought the best way to do that was through interviews with artists. It's a nice cross section of different people. It's not any specific agenda other than, hey, you guys make a part of the city. What do you think? What do you think about it? How's your work reflective of the community, but you're a person that's here in that community? So, and that's what I've been doing since, kind of broadening it out, being a bit more international, but that's sort of the route. And we're back at it because man spun the block, unfortunately.
More voices. Gotta always fight back. You said you started it because of language from other people about where you are. So where are you right now? Now that you've taken in that language and you've seen the flowers and the vines and the weeds and the beautiful parts and the dark parts. So how do you feel 2019 Rob Lee thinks about 2025 Rob Lee?
2019 Rob Lee to 2025 Rob Lee. Why aren't you in California yet? Why have you blown up? No, it's I think sort of what I would look at is as far as the trajectory. I think then it was just trying to get interviews, trying to convince people that this is worthwhile, to have some sort of pride in where you're from and pride in what you do and being able to speak about it. I look at probably in 2019, I only did like 20 interviews. That was all I was able to get.
I'm just going to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I want you to know this about him. I don't know the exact number he's done in a year, but he said his first year he only did 20. On average, he probably quadruples that in a year. Him setting it up, arranging it, and recording with, like, he releases so many episodes that it is almost not impossible to keep up, but to know when something else is coming.
This just tells me that Rob Lee is a time traveler. He stops time and just manipulates it however he wants. We have a superhero here, and I appreciate it.
Perfect segue. He's a superhero.
Yeah.
He started off doing comic book art.
See?
Who are you as a superhero?
You remember that? Okay.
Who are you as a superhero? Who is Rob Lee as a superhero?
Rob Lee is a superhero. It's probably Colossus from the X-Men.
Oh, that's my favorite X-Men, just straight up and down.
You get it. Yeah. But specifically from like the arcade joint or what have you, when I just flex and I'm just like metal and just covered. Mm-hmm. It's great. But as far as I think 2019 and now, like, so this is the thing that I'm at right now in terms of doing this. Just hit 6 years in July. So that 2019, I started a podcast at the end of July. So that was 20 from July through December. Mm-hmm. And I will be currently by the end of this season, I got like 5 or 6 episodes left to come out. I'll be at 900 episodes in the 6 years.
That's crazy.
5 years over here, and we are at 209.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a great number. I think sort of. I give a lot of credit even to you, like you being an example, Jay. You've been on the pod. It's like it's as good as sort of the dance partner that you have on, and being able to have a conversation with someone and folks being open. Like I said, in 2019, it was hard to get people to come on. And then 2020 folks are, at home. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a little bump because folks are at home. My biggest year was 2022, where I did 322 interviews in that year.
Interviews, everybody. Talking to people, arranging conversations with people.
There's still only 365 days in a year, right?
I think. Not according to Rob Lee.
Yeah, not
according to Colossus.
Time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel, Colossus.
Man.
You have the Phoenix Force. You aren't just regular Colossus. You've got supernatural mythical powers with it. So
it's funny. I'm reading a book by one of the guests that I'm interviewing next week. Dude named Ben Passmore. I met him through one of these connections and doing Cartoon Crossroads Columbus. It's basically an indie comic thing where the last 2 years I've been invited to speak and interview folks, and it's really cool because it's like I backdoored into comics, Yeah. And his book is about like Black resilience through like armed Black resilience, but it's a time travel element. So he's just going through history. It's fire. It just came out last week, and it's a comic and
pictures.
So you mentioned time travel. I'm sitting over here giggling because I'm like reading this right now.
Yeah, it all comes together.
His superpower is to see the future. So
yeah. I guess
mine is hateration. Like I am the haterator. I don't know if you know that about me. And my power is to inconvenience anyone, mildly or vastly. My power is to inconvenience someone. So every day you get out of bed and you stub your pinky toe the same way, and then it heals, and then you do it again. So that is the power I have, is to inconvenience anyone and everyone. And Sir Nygel.
So you're the person I should blame.
Yeah, you could. Mm-hmm. But if I'm aware of it, it'll only make it worse.
Oh, man.
Double it and pass it
makes
back.
sense. I'm always like a few minutes late, so I'm gonna blame you. Always a few minutes late for things like getting on trains. It's like literally, like I don't know if you guys watch football or anything, but think of this. Will take it back because it's old, but think of Mike Allstott.
Oh, geez.
Just from the Tampa Bay, just running over people. That was me at Penn Station last Thursday because I had 2 minutes to get on a train to Philadelphia and I was not getting a refund. I was like, move, get out of the way. I was like, I'll knock people over.
Motivation. Yeah. No refund. That make you knock somebody over.
It's like there's a 6'4" giant black man running for his life.
And how did your knees feel when you got to the train?
So I have a knee brace on currently.
Is that from
just the right?
Is that from the experience? Like you just did that? Is that what happened?
I've been lifting heavy recently. I was told people have been commenting. It's like, yeah, you look a little scrawny. I was like, I'm still 240. Like, what are we doing? So I've been hitting the heavy weights. I've dropped about 80 pounds in the last year and a half, just through exercise and all of this different stuff. But at 6'4", that 240 looks a lot smaller. So I've been like hitting the weights pretty hard, and one of my knees is like, you sure? You sure, bro?
Oh, I know that feeling immensely. I also am on my weight loss journey and have lost a lot of weight, and my knee, I've broken my knee, so it's been even more problematic. And so it reminds me very often, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, no, but we need to. And it's like, I don't think so. And so it definitely a lot of conversations that go back and forth with my knee, like, maybe you should chill. And it's like, nah, we need to, I'm trying like that David Goggins, try to, you're just a bitch. So it's like, oh, okay. So I try to talk and hype myself up, and it gives me problems, but I feel that.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't topple over like Mitch McConnell, like Cocaine Mitch, just go over.
I wouldn't watch the clip because I'm like, I don't want to see this old man fall. I just don't want that for me. Like
I wanted to confirm that he wasn't made out of glass though. That was the only reason I watched it.
Fair. Like I saw him walking,
watching it, but I watched
like a basketball.
Like I saw him walking and how he was like shuffling, and like his suit pants were just wrong, and his shoes were, they weren't like shoes. They were just like something to put his feet in.
What I would have loved if he had fell, bounced like a basketball, and that's when we discover flubber is real. Like, that's what I would have needed that. It's a government psyop. Flubber, like, they leaked it back in the day. We weren't ready to process it, and they were like, oh, we're just going to shelve this. And Mitch McConnell was like, I got this.
I don't have...
So they'll release the flubber files, but not the Epstein files.
Yeah, exactly.
We
got distraction.
More distraction.
Give them ninjas flubber. That's how you gotta do it. Yeah, just throw flubber at him.
I don't hate him enough. Now, if it was Clarence Thomas, I would pay premium tickets to watch him hurt himself. That's where the haterade stemmed from. My hate for Clarence Thomas. Like, I want everything bad to happen to him every day of his life for the rest of his life.
It's like the verse from that Action Bronson and Chance the Rapper song, where it's just like, I want you to wipe and your finger goes through the paper. I want all of the bad things to happen.
Yes. That is diabolical.
Yes.
That's that Timu toilet paper right there. Or that one ply.
Yeah. Less than one ply.
Yeah. That's like
just figment of toilet paper.
Remember the cartoon where I think like Donald Duck was cutting like the bread and it was like see-through or whatever? I don't know if it was Donald Duck, but like that. like, yeah, wipe your booty with this. Like, goodness.
So you mentioned sports. You mentioned sports. Ravens fan?
Yes.
Okay. So
here's the thing.
I'll say this is a loaded answer.
So here's the thing. I'm going to set it up this way. I worked for the Orioles through undergrad, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm already familiar with like losing, and then just like I'm sticking with it. And so seeing the Ravens act, how they've been acting and how they've been playing, I'm like, yeah, this reminds me of most of my life being an Orioles fan. The last championship they won was 2 years before I was born. 2 years before I was born.
They won the pennant in '98, though.
Yeah, but championship in '83.
You're right, but it was exciting. Cal Ripken.
Yeah, he never missed a day.
Cal Ripken used to be the most famous person in all of Baltimore's history, and then he stopped playing, and people was like, "Who's that white?"
They had a 400% winning percentage during the 3 years I worked there, so a lot of losses. Yeah, I made a lot of money there though. But
was it like taxable income, or was it? Because you bringing it up makes me think that you were like, it was some dastardly under the table stuff going on. I made a lot of money there. That's not something you say about like working for a major league franchise.
He was out there slanging time.
He was scalping tickets. He was scalping tickets.
I might have been scalping tickets. No, I was an event staff manager, so it had a vibe where wiping off seats has that sort of thing. You're wiping off seat, directing folks to their seats. I was like, the struggle. It's like in a series I think it was a series against the Red Sox. I made like $500 in like tips.
Cash, so it was cash.
In like 3 games.
Made a lot of money. Hand to hand.
But I did have this sort of vibe of like, I don't like being a giant black guy cleaning up white people's seats. So I had that vibe too. But I was like, this money is real, though.
Like, Massa, here's your seat, sir.
White glove service.
I did say that this one time because I need to enjoy myself. I said, all right, sir, right here.
Mm. No, I definitely would have had a Southern tang occasionally. I would have played that. Like
this way here. This way here.
Come here, sir. Do you talk like that?
Such a pretty lady.
If you ever need anything, just ask for Charlie.
Yes. Ask for Charlie. So I asked you about the Ravens. Because I wondered if you believe what I believe is the reason for their season going the way it's going. John Harbaugh answering that question the way he answered that question. For those of you who don't know.
Because I don't know.
The Harbaugh brothers visited the president. The president was Trump. Okay. And so a reporter basically asked him, I'm going to flub it up, but he asked him more or less about how did your meeting with Trump go, and knowing how he's impacting people that look like the players on your team. And he took a I love the president response. And anyone who I was familiar with that was of my skin hue or close felt a way about it. And I have to believe the locker room felt a way about it too. What do you think, Rob Lee?
I heard that, and I do remember it. And I remember one of my friends, he had that same take. My take wasn't too far off of it. Some of the fits that I saw in the off season, I was like, 7 and 10. Literally is kind of. And then when I saw that, I was like, all right, that's another loss right there. That's like 6 and 11. But the outlet that's attached with that, I don't really like some of the choices they make, and I'm trying to be diplomatic here. And because I watched that clip, and it was just like, I see what you're doing there. That was another thing that he said. So he's like, I'm kind of on to it because that outlet they get a little shoddy with their journalism, and the question was a very weirdly timed kind of gotcha question, but his response was woeful. It's a bad response.
The outlet,
and it's probably a real response, but not a good response.
I believe the outlet is a Sinclair outlet, and Sinclair was the ones who shut down Jimmy Kimmel for a little while.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm pretty sure it was them who asked the question.
I think it was the other one that broke the Tucker story.
Oh, Tucker, and the freaky kicker, and
oh, okay.
he's a very freaky guy. He was like Diddy Party level.
Oh, okay.
There was definitely baby oil involved. He was going to get massages and asking for other favors.
Oh, well,
for years. But he was the best kicker in the history of the NFL, so they ignored it. Because
he was out here getting his rocks off. I mean,
ignored it, and then one day they stopped ignoring it. And I think for him, what I think is interesting about him is I think he didn't think he was a player. I think he felt like he was a part of management and ownership. And I'm sure like he went to Bishotti's home and like had dinner with the family and stuff like that. I am certain he felt like he was of a different level, right? And then he had the public announcement is one thing, but I feel like they knew for a year or so that was coming. And then once it finally hit, he just broke down and he couldn't kick anymore. Because like the season before it actually went public, he was awful. And he hadn't been awful ever.
Okay.
And then he just became awful that following season. I was like, nah, something's up with this. And then later, towards the end of the season, it comes out that he had been asking for strange favors from different women for years.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he had the same rundown as like sort of Deshaun Watson, and it was kind of one of those things where the timeline was prior to him being like best kicker forever, through championship, through breaking these records, through sucking. And I think you're right, where it's just like, yo, this is in your head. Something else is going on. But it's sort of this thing where I don't know any other outlets that really picked it up. Where when we look at the Watson thing, everyone picked it up.
Yeah, Watson had the color for disposition. Tucker did not. Tucker's white. Sean Watson's not.
I could, yeah.
Tucker was having his Royal Farms choked. You know what I mean?
See what he did there? Mm-hmm. I saw it. Mm-hmm. He also did commercials for Royal Farms.
Oh.
that.
But yeah, I think they're it's bad timing. It's like you got to be more savvy than that. As far as going back to the Harbaugh thing, you got to be more savvy than that. Don't toe the company line. I think one of the best comments I remember hearing was, I think it was Buck Showalter when he was managing the Orioles. And he's a white dude from the South. And they just asked him about, like, this was around Freddie Gray in a protest and no one was allowed to go to the ballpark. And he was just like, I believe what black people are saying is happening. I'm not here to be a goalie or anything along those lines. Whatever they need, I'm here at their disposal. That was essentially the message. I was like, yeah, that's the thing you do. Like right there.
But then white people resent that. But that's a whole nother topic. And
yep.
We love white people here. Please continue listening.
They fund my podcast on occasion.
I'm pandering. Speaking of your podcast, when did you realize he's having a ball, yo? When did you realize that you were onto something? Because you said the first year it was hard for you to get guests. So when did it sink in for you? Like, wait a minute, I'm doing something. Was it like you're looking at the numbers, or was it that you landed someone that you never thought you could land?
There's a few of those moments. The first one would probably be I was able to get Rebecca Hoffberger from the American Vision Arts Museum.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And, get the founder of a museum that's been around for 25 years, and she researched me. She was like, I'm coming from a funeral, and I'm happy to get on this pod and talk with you. And we just chopped it up. That's all we did. And she did some research on me. She was asking me about comedy. I don't remember really the conversation as much as it was literally like we were just having a conversation. It wasn't like this scripted flow and so on. So having something that felt like a breakthrough of the style that I would try to build off of, but with someone who has this sort of background and this sort of legacy here in the city. And as remember, she said towards the end, we were talking about Cisco for some reason. So right there is a weird conversation. She's like, yeah, we should do an exhibition about thongs and dedicate it to Cisco. That's the conversation we're having for some reason.
I mean, as you should. It should be.
Why hasn't anyone done this yet?
I had to go to the Smithsonian for that.
Smithsonian?
And the one thing that she threw out there, and it feels good to hear these things if I'm being honest, is she was like, you should just be more famous. You should be a representative of, Baltimore in that way. Because during that time, I had one question. This is slightly before the rapid fire questions became like a major part of the pod. But the question I would ask people, who is the pop culture or cultural representative and export of Baltimore? And, she went she went in the direction of John Waters initially, and then is how we got to Cisco. And she was like, maybe it could be you. That's kind of how that sort of flow of conversation went. So it felt like it's kind of a bit of a boost.
Yeah,
because the whole podcasting game is a lonely thing.
Absolutely.
Except when you have your homeboy, just.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I realized about podcasting is like I need the outlet. I am unwell if I'm unable to share in a creative way. So I'm glad I got my friend. He's laughing at me because
no. I'm laughing because there's some intrusive thoughts up in here, and I'm also very appreciative to be able to bounce some stuff. Because a lot of times I told him, like, a lot of my motivation is like, I'm gonna say something so out of pocket, I'm gonna get this motherfucker off.
So like that's the theme of the show. The theme of the show is for me to figure out a way to get him to say something that makes my eyes pop out of my head, right? Because that's just what we're trying to do. Like, we used to compete to make each other's eyes pop out. I'm just like, no, I'm just going to pry and dig and pinch and pull and push, and eventually something's going to come from it. And more likely than not, it happened. So.
Oh yeah, because there's like I said, this place up here in the brain is it's a wild place, and some stuff just blurts out, and it's fun. It's cool stuff.
When I did Robcast, I did that for about 10 years, and I had a couple of different co-hosts, and but my longtime co-host was my buddy Dan. He and I are no longer friends. We don't record anymore, and all of that stuff. That kind of broke off when the Truth in His Heart kind of started to get a bit bigger. So, it's some weird jealousy or whatever that was happening, right? But when we were doing Robcast, we would cook, and it would just be some of the most inane. We would cover pop culture and weird news. So these like weird news stories that pop up. We would get into the minutia of it, and we had a game in it called New Challenger. So the whole Gal theme goes with everything, that old meme from back in the day. I would have that as the backdrop, and I would give him very, very, very sparse details from really messed up stories that I would find that are real things that are really happening. And it would be like a word. I'm like, here's your keyword. We got 5 rounds. Here's a keyword from each round. Man. Yeah, man seems innocuous. Man loses testicles in terrible accident. He's like, motherfucker. And we would have to go through the story. And it's almost like a game of Russian roulette.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty fun.
But the only thing is, it saps my soul when I have to look and read and cover dark things. Like I'm trying to compete, right? I'm not just looking for, man gets a job, hooray, right? We used to celebrate first blacks, right? When the first time a black achieved something, like yay, first blacks, right? A little bit of balance. But then no. We want some depraved shit. We want the story of the minister in Africa who decides he wants to walk on water to prove to his congregation that Jesus is real and gets eaten by an alligator, right? Like that's the story we want. So I understand the game plan behind you and your former co-host and what you guys were doing, but it just takes so much out of me. So it's just about freestyling and wheeling and dealing now. If there's something special or particular that comes up, I think we both like mark it in our memory banks. Like I got to talk about this week, but no more competition. It's just a love session now.
Yeah, and sometimes also I'll find some stuff that isn't really funny, but the way I look at it is funny. So I'm like, isn't that stupid? I'm like, that's stupid as hell. Like, let's say if I'm like walking, I just see like a random like baby carriage. I'm like, well, what happened to the baby? Like, let's say like, did a miracle happen here? Like, did I miss something?
I got a question for you, Rob. Got a question for you. This goes back to something that Nygel and I discussed a couple weeks ago. You're a black man, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly. All right. Ancestry DNA probably comes a little bit, like 80-20. But are you currently in a relationship?
I am.
Okay. Now, from this relationship or any of your previous relationships, were they with black women?
Yes.
Okay. When you were with these black women and you were doing things in public, and he's a tall guy, did you hold their hand as you did things in public with your black women?
And walk whimsically.
That's an intimacy that this detached Aquarius can't really do.
God damn it.
Thank you for proving my point. Black people don't do it. Black people do not walk whimsically holding hands. I refuse.
I do one of these, like,
look. The context is I saw this couple like walking in Virginia holding hands, and I was like, we don't do that. And apparently Jay was like, yes, we do. And I was like,
we hold the hands with the people we like, but apparently
it was a unicorn. That's what it was.
I'm the unicorn. They're the unicorn.
Well, you know what? I'll give you that because that means you're special, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, this motherfucker was a unicorn in Virginia. I was like, I ain't never seen no shit like that. Now, a white person doing that, I'd be like, that's acceptable. A biracial couple, okay, get it, girl. Black and black. Who the fuck are you?
I'll throw this your way. If I've had a particularly, because I got to do some man shit. Sometimes you got to pop off, right, a little bit. Because I cook. I'm into art and shit, and I've gotten some weird takes about being into art and cooking, like. that's a little zesty or a little sassy.
Oh no,
that's a thing that's been floated out there. I was like, taking care of myself. We're going to the doctor's next, but
starve, be a man.
Not for my part, not from girlfriend. Yeah. But just in the past, you file that away. So every now and again, if like I'm in the gym and I'm lifting weights and I get like the gnarly calluses, I'm like, yeah, let's hold hands. Oh my God, your hands are so rough. I was like, man, shit, you know?
Yeah, man,
because I'm a man. Change tires and shit. Do you recognize parts of an engine? I don't. Oh, well, yeah, you're more of a man than me. All right. Do you recognize parts of an engine?
Of course. I mean, well, because I've actually
you motherfuckers are men and I'm the bitch over here.
Well, no, because I also like I feel like men fall into a category typically when they grow to a certain age, right? And I was like, I'm just gonna be a car guy. That's my thing now. So I was like, I'm just gonna. So people smoke meats. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like I don't got time for that.
You smoke meats, you're a griller.
See, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So we're falling into groups, right? You know what I'm saying? So
I paint pictures, okay?
You're an artist. You're an artist. Look,
pictures.
It's a creative outlet. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like you fall into a group, and I was like, I can't draw for shit. I gotta use ChatGPT for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a grill.
And that was one of your recent episodes. We were talking to someone about the influence of AI. In the space of art, and I didn't listen to the full episode, but I believe you both pretty much said if it's a tool, it's fine, but just like the reliance on it is crazy. Has AI impacted anything you do professionally or as a podcaster? Has it been any huge influx into what you do day in and day out?
So I'm a data analyst in a day job, so use it every day. And we have our own homegrown iteration of ChatGPT, and it's layered on top of all of the major ones that are out there, Gemini and such. And I'm like the only one that's really paying attention to it in my office. So I'm like the subject matter expert. So when it's time for that renegotiation, minus the CTE, I'm going to be Antonio Brown about this. I'm going to need that new check. As far as the podcast piece, and I think it's a interesting point there. So the interview you're referencing is Zena Verduzco, who had been on the pod. She was one of the Run It Back episodes. And this season, I really wanted to focus on having folks back on and seeing where they're at in the 5 or however many years between the first interview and now. She was a museum curator, and now she's like sort of in this space. But tech was always a piece of what she did. Like she did like virtual tours of museums. So tech is just natural progression. But in looking at it, so a lot of times you're a one-man show. I know that I'm a one-man show in doing this. The guests are coming on, but my job is to set everything up, do the emails, do all of the stuff. So at a point, I'm looking at earlier iterations of like ChatGPT and so on to maybe help polish questions, not write questions. The ideas are mine. The direction is mine, but I'm trying to like guide it. But initially, you know, it's a little too much of that voice that's not my voice. And I used it for a bit to do a little more of the lifting. And then I just realized, like, I'm just improvising this whole thing because I hate these questions. They seem stupid. It's not me. And now I don't say it in this way, but in a lane where I'm me, you're you. Right. And whatever you bring to your conversation, how you go about it, that's that unique quality that keeps your brand and what you do uniquely yours. And I think when we're selling off pieces of that, we're partitioning pieces of that out for ease of use, for I don't have enough time. It's like, well, maybe you do less to spend more time and more care and attention to it. And with it, it's giving me sort of the direction to kind of trim down the amount of episodes that I do. Now, you know, having that 322, the following year I did 175. Last year, like 130. This year is going to be 75. And it's because it's want to spend more time and care and attention to it and looking for perhaps a shortcut or perhaps a way to polish some stuff. You lose the important thing that separates it, that makes it real. And with these conversations are real, I owe it to, you know, keep doing real stuff.
Because that's the truth in this art.
Yeah, that's it. It's good time. Got
the tea on that.
I did spoken word for a bit, by the way, too. I don't know if that ever came up.
No, that's new to me.
That's awesome.
Did you?
I was in high school.
Where you were Rob Lee? You didn't have like a stage name, like.
I did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did.
Please share.
Yeah, please share.
This is incredibly corny. So I was a rapper and I did spoken word and I did poetry and all of that stuff. And the rap stuff was very influenced by like Beanie Siegel.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Beanie was
Yeah.
But
From East Baltimore.
all right, fair. Sure.
I mean, as one of my DC homies, when he met me at Morgan, went to Morgan, he was like, "Yo, where you from, bro?" And I started just naming different parts of Baltimore. He's like, "Nigga, you from all the drug spots?" And I was like, "But I got this visual. I'm in a real estate class." I was like, "I'm gonna string a bell this thing. We got a real estate plan here. I'm gonna put drugs in the houses." That didn't happen. But the poetry. So my rap name it was Nam Mecca.
Nam Mecca.
Yeah.
Well, Nam.
Yeah. So like name.
Niggas of Mercy.
Yeah.
You was Niggas of Mercy Mecca. Is that it?
Literally. Someone thought I was Nation of Muslim Mecca, and I was like, 2 on the nose. No.
Yeah. That would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was a guy that I was friends with who was producer, who actually is still a DJ. We saw each other recently. His sister's been on the podcast twice, Paige Hernandez. His name is Nick Hernandez. I looked up to him at City. So I went to City College, high school. He wore Echo all the time. Mm-hmm. So I was like biting his style. So I was always wearing Mecca. So you would see me now Mecca wearing Mecca. They should have cut a check.
Yeah,
I was about to say
you lived your raps.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you rapped about, but I know you lived it.
I was out here.
Real Ones by Nam Mecca.
I appreciate the commitment. I feel like I've never committed anything like that in my life, actually.
Who were you in high school, Nygel? Did you have any...
No, I mean, like, honestly, I was still finding myself because I went to DeMatha. I wore a uniform. I didn't really have, like, a style or personality. Then I got kicked out, and then I kind of created one. But then it was too crazy because I was working 2 jobs, and then I don't think I really came into my own until, like...
So you were a single black mom in high school is what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it. You had a hardship and then get through it, and you found yourself, and now... Mm-hmm. Doing well for yourself. Kids doing great. Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, because like I said,
you in the movie Straw.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because I wasn't much. I was very probably like I am now, antisocial, just in the house, not doing much. I didn't, like I said, didn't have a style.
All I hear is City High. What would you do if your son was? That was not a crown. So in school, I was mean. I was not nice. We were. I tell people, like, when I'm introducing myself or getting to know a young woman, I'll tell her stories about my friends or whatever growing up, because you're trying to relate. And then, like, you talk about your friends and you talk about them in terms of, like, the nicknames they had. Everybody had horrible nicknames because we were mean people.
Oh, I can see what you mean.
Like there was a kid, special needs. We called him Thumbhead because his head looked like a thumb.
Oh, I thought you were going to call him Ed.
No, not him. But
okay.
There was a dude in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We called him Sorry because apparently his mother thought ill of his father, and she called him Sorry because he looked like his dad.
Oh, that's funny.
My best friend called him Curious because he looked like a monkey. Curious George. Like, we just had horrible nicknames for people.
I would also have accepted if he had, like, yellow teeth.
Nah, I definitely had big teeth. He had big teeth, though, but he got braces, and then he got them straightened out. But,
that's funny, though.
So, yeah, I was kind of mean, but, you know, it's just, you live hard, yeah, walk hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, just what it is. And
yeah.
Now I'll be looking for jokes. I wish I could find jokes I had when I was, like, 16. Tons of them.
I feel like it's also the atmosphere, because it's like, you know, when you're in high school, you used to cut it up, right? Like, I feel like you were in the environment. Like, you were like pretty much, like, you know, like freestyle battling every day. Now you're in the corporate setting. It's like you ain't cutting up HR. You know what I'm
saying? But we used to. When we all sat close to one another, we did. It was a different spirit.
I had a job with a Jesuit college. And so Catholics, right? And I had a buddy there, the only other black guy that was there. He and I became boys. He's like some PG dude or what have you. And I was like, yeah, let's chop it up. And we became boys. He's like 12 years older than me. And I was just like, I don't belong in here. You don't belong in here. We're both temps, but we have to figure this out. We recognize the optics. We're the only 2 black guys there, and it's in this sort of Catholic school. So for us to communicate some of the inane nonsense, this is pre-memes, we would come up with different terminology and language at the beginning of the day and have like a fake conversation throughout the day. We had so much of a dictionary and a lexicon that was based that I turned it into a podcast. Like, here's your word of the day, and here's the different bullshit that we made up during a given week, to have these coded, very inane and very inappropriate conversations right there in front of people. Like, oh, there's the Catholic, whatever, the Monsignor, what have you. We're talking about titties, but in a very obscure way.
That is funny.
That is great. So that means you had to take notes. You had to recall. Right, you had to write down some of these words because you're going to make it into a show.
But also, like, I just feel like
your ducks in a row.
That's what you say. Like let's say like Catholic, like water or something. It's like you talk about something like the titties, for example. But then it's like I forgot what it was, and so you just kind of staring like
you know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. He's like, no, we say so much, I can't keep up, bro. I don't even know no more, bro. You know I'm old.
But it's a thing where in it, like, I have a certain visual that I cut that I'm not aware of. It's the eyebrows. Like, I have the hat on, but it's the eyebrows that I look more sinister than I actually am. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you'll see like these eyebrows, but then it's like most of the time I'm like smiling. It's like I'm laughing at something, probably something that's actually in the conversation, or like you, sir, Nygel, like kind of thinking about, what's going on up here? What am I thinking? Oh, yeah, I wish you fall right now. If you just fall right on your face, that would be great.
Yeah, no, I always said, I was like, I wonder if this would happen. And then I giggle. And then I keep it moving.
But I think that's what keeps us safe. So this is a conversation I've had a number of times where if you think of the wildest thing that can happen in that moment, you're preparing yourself for the wildest thing that can happen in that moment. Mm-hmm. And it never happens. But if you don't think of the wildest thing that can happen in that moment, you are unprepared for what could occur. So like if you go into something thinking like, I'm going to have to fight everybody on this bus. You know what's not going to happen? You're not going to have to fight anybody on the bus. But if you don't think about it when it's time to fight on the bus, you're not going to be ready for it.
No, you're gonna get a fair one, and you're not gonna.
It's not even gonna be fair because you didn't see it coming.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You just out. You just got lumped up by a little old lady.
If Gertrude knocks me out, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
You didn't prepare yourself for it.
Yeah, you're right. I just gonna get hit and be like, Geraldine, stop.
Ernestine will catch these hands. That's just what's going to happen. But what you're describing there, though, Jay, is I did like therapy for a number of years, and the guy I had, he was like a really tall, like Italian dude. And he was just like, you're a very heady individual. He was like, you think about everything. You think about all the outcomes. He's like, you might be Batman in some ways. And I was like, go on, tell me more about how great I am. Mm-hmm. But he had to throw out there this whole samurai thing. He was like, samurai would think about, before going into battle, all of the terrible outcomes that could happen. He's like, so to kind of deal with sort of anxiety and these different things and going into war, a dragon is going to eat me. It's like, that's not going to happen. So anything that's beneath that, you're good. I still use that idea.
That's actually a good idea, though, because it's like a dragon. Let's say the dragon's going to jump me when I leave the house. And it's like, that's not going to happen. So if like, let's say like two people, it's like, it's only two.
Not a dragon.
It's not a dragon. Like I'm so much better than that.
But that's a gun. So I'm going to just give you my wallet. Right.
But like one of the favorite things I like to do when we talk about like, I guess like if you like, let's say you're talking to a young lady and she says, ew, right?
What's the worst that can happen?
Like, I feel like even if I said, look, it's not like she could eat me like a dragon. You thought you could talk to me? Ill.
That sounds like something from a rap song, though. Eat me like a dragon. Tell me more.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Ghostface Killer.
Like Nygel saying this? Yeah.
Ghostface said that. He definitely said, eat me like a dragon.
Oh.
But I...
Sure. Make the reference. So Jay came in with this shirt.
I don't know if you can see it, but I had the question. He read my shirt, and he was like, what movie is that from? And it says, this is for your black card, and...
I lost my black card.
4 Wings and Western Fries. Fried hard, of course. The shirt says, catches bullets with his teeth. What movie is that from, sir?
That's from The Last Dragon from 1985.
Yeah,
Time up.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, see, I was like, I feel like I know that movie, and I don't know where. I was like, I know it's a black ninja movie. I just don't know what. And I was like, Black Dynamite?
Bruce Lee.
And it is coming back to theaters 2 weeks from now. So that's why I have the shirt so I can wear it when I go theaters.
But yeah, I lost my black card again. I lose it kind of often.
I'm gonna have to go. Is the 40th anniversary of it, but I want to go back to one thing real quick. When you, so Jay, you were talking about like being me. I'm still that now, but much more vocal, right? And so, but I'm that when it comes to my friends, like people who I call friends. And I have said on numerous podcasts, and I stick to it all the time, I have 1.5 friends, and they're getting smaller every day. That's literally the bit. But I remember being in New Orleans. I have a buddy who used to do a podcast with me called Unofficially Black. And we would just talk about just things that black guys don't do this. We did, and we would talk about it. That's what it was. It started off with, we were going to see Japanese wrestling. And people was like, why are you going to see Japanese wrestling? Seems stupid. They ain't black. So I remember he and I were in New Orleans. I usually go to New Orleans for my birthday in January. And I remember we were down there, and it's just like a really weird time. Just super hot. He's wearing like a suit for some reason. We go to a Pelicans game. I was like, why are you dressed like an assistant coach from a failing team? Like, they're losing and you're dressed in a suit. So he's wearing a suit. He has this sort of like compliment that he's riding the wave of all night. Some chick we were walking by, she was like, oh my God, you look so snazzy. I hope you get laid tonight. He adjusted his shirt. Like, fuck it. Like,
but he was walking with you. So,
so we go into the French Quarter.
We're not talking about that.
We're talking about that.
Keep it story.
So we go into the French Quarter, right? And there is this weird moment where people are asking, like, where are you guys from? I was like, you know, like, I don't know, motherfuckers here. I'm not saying where I'm from. We have accents. We're down here. This is an away game. And he's like from the county. He's like, yeah, from Baltimore. I was like, you're fucking not from Baltimore. I am from Baltimore. You're from Owens Mills. Let's get that squared the fuck away. But we're leaving out. We go to another bar. And then there's a girl in there wearing something very, very tight, very scantily, all that stuff. He goes over and say, hey, feeling himself a little bit because he looks snazzy. She didn't look at him. She's like, ew. And then turned away. And I was like,
did the pinstripes fall off his suit?
Huh?
Did the pinstripes fall off his suit? He was that defeated.
His seersucker was sucked away. It was gone. It was over.
It hit the ground.
I was just like, why are you talking to this nickel? It's like, she's not even a dime. This is loose change right here. And I'm saying all this in front of her. I'm getting I'm getting higher, like more and more mean as we go along. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why are you being so mean to this stranger? I was like, she hurt your feelings. So now I have to be a protective, friend.
Yeah, as you should. I mean,
I'm mean for that reason.
The audacity as well. Like I mean, I always joke about the ill, but like, you don't need to do that. That's uncalled for.
I'd fight. So I feel.
I don't think I'm not mature enough to hear an ill
fight.
Like, hey girl, what's up? Ill.
Yeah, you can diss me. Don't diss my people. Like, I'd fight for my people. I can eat the diss, but don't diss my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can take that to the chin.
Yeah, we're cooking. We're doing a fry session. Like, what was the
getting your hand ready, boy. Hit him with it. Hit him with it. Like, look at this. You know what I'm saying?
Hit him with the go shoes and go up, or up and go shoes.
Probably start up top because I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
it's a lot going on in the top piece that is just not right. It always is. It's just something you can find.
Bad makeup, lace fronts, wig,
eyelashes,
yeah,
baby hairs, like all that stuff. You can start. You can start up top easy.
Mm-hmm. I like to say things that will have people thinking. I was like, you have some insecure follicles.
You know, I love using the word follicles because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to take that, right? It's like, damn, girl, your follicles look beautiful. And they'd be like, what? They don't know what the fuck that is. So I appreciate that. I've definitely
they have one of those insults that people have to wait to kind of get the full thing. It's like, oh, you insulted me 2 hours ago. It's like,
yeah.
I did that once at a meeting. I think you were in that meeting. I'm not sure.
Probably.
We had the session with the people who were teaching us how to feel in the other building. You remember that session?
Yeah, I remember that session.
I insulted the orchestrators of the session. And then our director had to tell them, that was not good what he said. He did not say anything good right now. So, yeah, that happened. So the name of this show is the Don't Judge Me podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Rob Lee, what is something he doesn't want to be judged for, but he might want to talk about a little bit?
Okay.
And that was, don't judge me, but the grind culture will put you in the ground. What does that mean, Rob Lee? What does that mean?
Yeah, so I have this thing I've been playing with. I'm a bit of a wordsmith, as I established earlier, and that's a branch of my fake philosophy I like to call faux philosophy. Yeah,
Good. I like
coined
it.
patented.
Philosophy. Entree po niggas. That's all I'm saying.
But I think it's legit. I think that we're being grinded out, right? Where we do these different creative things. We are pushed to just keep working. And I don't know if you guys have like office jobs outside of, sort of creative stuff and doing this, but the moment where you take some time off, it's like, yeah, we just want to get a reset, just everyone is well rested. It's like, I took a day that I earned off, and we just continue this grind, and we make it almost feel like it's a badge of honor to work hard. And it's just like, you should work hard. It builds capacity, but knowing when to take those breaks is something that I've had to learn, because it eventually will kill you. You see people put up all of this work, all of this great stuff, and it's kind of counter to the way that the world works currently. That you just got to keep grinding. You're going to get it one day, bro. You just keep going. I'm dead. So I just think figuring out how to have that sort of balance, that's the thing. And people will judge it and think it's a bit, I think, disingenuous in that you do so much. It's like, I've been actively doing less to be able to have time to do the things that matter. Like, doing this was a highlight for me for this week.
Nice.
This is, I think, the only podcast that I have this week this is the only time I put this microphone on.
Nice.
So I'm like avoiding the grind, not embracing the grind as we're told to do.
I get it. So here's something I have for comparison's sake. We all know Martin Luther King, Black Jesus, right? How old was Martin Luther King when he passed away?
I think 56.
No.
46.
No.
36.
39.
39.
Oh, Jesus.
That man looked 56.
Yeah, it did.
46.
I thought I nailed it. I thought I redeemed my black card, but
He did so much. He was just withering away right before our eyes. He was the oldest 39-year-old man I've ever seen in my life.
Yo, I mean, I'm older than him right now. That's crazy.
So I need to do more with your life?
I mean,
not according to Rob Lee. No. You are what you should be.
The only dream I had was that nap I took earlier when the I was yo. That shit was the nicest nap ever.
And it's probably not going to sound like controversial or spicy, but I just think it's one of those things where, it's a lot of stuff that is going on right in front of us all the time. We have this sort of, I think culturally we're designed to not embrace people who do stuff really well. We have this anti-intellectualism thing. We have this, we don't care about people who are just good at what they're doing or just enjoy what they're doing. It's almost like, especially with I think with Black folks and some of the things that I've been around specifically in Black art, sometimes we see folks that, okay, what's your struggle story? You had to do something hard. You had to have this thing where you had 4 jobs and, you had this situation happen. You really had to grind, but your work was there. Your work was the thing that got you over. And eventually I'll anoint you. No, I'm against that. I don't like that.
I understand completely. I understand completely. I personally, I've never disclosed this, and I guess I will right now. Like, I paint, I create, whatever. And there's a submission process generally to be featured or seen in different spaces for art. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm out of it. I simply made the decision that what's been happening in return isn't worth the effort putting it out. So I'm just doing me for me. I enjoy what I'm doing. I know I'm good. I'm not yet great. That's fine too. Like if you get on board and see it and you like it and you want to talk, fantastic. If you want me to come on board, great. But I am not taking the time to just give myself to you so you can A, ignore me, B, reject me, or 3, just like don't consider me at all.
Because who are you to judge or evaluate?
Because I'm looking, the art of submission is requesting validation from an outside space, right?
Yeah,
and it might not impact you one way or another. And it's just like right now, that's not it for me. So I got one thing that's still floating out there, but because of the government shutdown, it's probably not even going to get any money toward it or anything like that. But outside of that, like I don't submit anymore. It's just over for me. So I completely get that. Like this podcasting is for me. I need it for me. Creation period is for me, and I need that for me, not for the acceptance or approval of others. Like I'm not making it a hustle. It's the thing I do because it's an extension of me, period.
No, and I resonate with it as well because I always it's always funny because I'll have like what's called planned nothingness, right? Where I purposely plan to do absolutely nothing, and people will say like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "My planned nothingness." They're like, "Oh, so you can go here?" No, 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 no. Don't you dare try to plan time in my nothingness because I plan to do nothing. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I plan to do nothing. I plan to either maybe doom scroll, maybe watch an anime. You know, I want to maybe watch some old shit that I've watched 1,000 times. Who cares? But it's my time. Yeah. I don't want to go anywhere else. And especially if you're going to tempt me with some bogus stuff like, hey, come over and watch TV. I could watch TV here. I don't need to go. Like, I'm fine. It's my nothingness. So I definitely feel that it's like, I mean, it's a little, I guess, like dumber down, but yeah, you got to be able to enjoy your time.
When you were recording 300 and 200 episodes a year, did it feel like the grind for you?
Yeah, it did. And as I look at it in hindsight, and it's sort of this thing where I've had conversations with people and it's like, hey man, I did this many and so on. And it's this vibe of, why would you do that much? And it's just like, because I enjoy it, and I do, but it's like also putting that boundary on it, because I say this, I'm a shy extrovert, right? So it's like, I don't have a problem going out and I get energy from being out there, but also it's like more 1-to-1, maybe 1-to-2, but not in these sort of like crazy groups. I don't need the, sort of exaltation or whatever that looks like. So in doing all of those interviews, it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's almost like I'm pigeonholed into doing purely those interviews. Mind you, I did 322 that year, but I also was still doing a movie podcast. So I did another 20 of those, and that's a whole different degree of research and, bringing people together. And I look at now and sort of like doing this sort of phase down to spend a bit more time, but phase down and sort of be out there. I was finding that I was detached from folks, and it's like doing this season and trying to prioritize having folks back on. I was like, I need to be back out there a little bit more. And I remember having this conversation with my partner about it. And she was like, yo, when is the movie podcast coming back? Because I would record some of those with her and other friends who I would have on The Truth in His Heart. And then turns out they like talking movies. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's fucking come on over here. And that's a different set of skills and a different, for me, sort of thing. Whereas The Truth in His Heart is for me, but it's also something I think that maybe puts some different value out there in the universe. Whereas I don't have the sort of boundaries of, I'm just going to talk about Tales from the Hood for like an hour. That's what I did yesterday. I had a person on from Fangoria, and we talked about Tales from the Hood for the 30th anniversary.
30?
We're popping off about 95, May of 95.
That's why I don't like looking up movie stuff, because that's when you get depressed. You just look up some shit and you like, 40 years ago, boy, get the fuck, like.
I mean, when you can talk about like Crazy K, and it's like, man, that's just Hakeem. I don't care who you kill. You just Hakeem Moesha's friend.
Listen, that was hard to accept. Seeing him as Crazy K was a difficult challenge when I first saw that. Like, nah, he not tough. He not tough. He not that tough, especially.
Yep. So I think that's the thing, though. Like, really trying to figure out the things that I'm interested in. I'll just share this real quick. I had a couple friends last week. Like, I'll try to show up to people's stuff. If I'm able to do it, if I don't have multiple things that I'm doing, usually I'm recording in evenings because I try to accommodate for people's schedules. But last week, because I've had this sort of almost planned nothingness, it was a work day. I took off. So I have some planned nothingness. And I was like, what do I want to do with this time that I have? I have a buddy who I'm reading the time travel book of his, and I have another guy that's I'm friends with who did his first show he was curating in Philly. So I was like, let me take the train to Philly. Let's just do it. I don't have anything planned up there, no agenda. And I was like, if I get over there and see both of them, cool. If I see one of them, cool. But not really feeling like this pressure that, well, you got to show up. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're seen. Get into the pictures. Because that's not really what I want to do, is that sort of pressure. That's energy, right? So I go up there. I see my my buddy in his show. And prior to going to the show, I saw my friend, actually. He's a friend, so it might be 2.5 now. But my friend, he's doing his book, And he's funny about it. He's just like, man, it's probably gonna suck. He's like doing that thing like he's too cool for it. He's like, also, I made king cake. If you want to try a piece, it's probably mid. I was like, your king cake is really good, brother. And we're just kind of chopping it up. And he texts me afterwards. He's like, thank you for showing up. He's like, I know you couldn't stay, but I appreciate you just kind of pulling up and showing up. He's like, you didn't have to come over here at all, but you made it a point to come over here to like wish me well before I did this talk in front of people for this new book that I worked on. And that text kind of gave me that same vibe as the Rebecca Hofberger thing. Those are the things that sort of matter versus this sort of push of get your stuff out there, be seen, grind away. The personal connections matter.
And that was a professional right there. You see that roundabout way where we started here, and we also ended up here as well. And
I just talk too much. That's all it is.
I just feel like the professionalism shows through, and the city owes you a bit of gratitude. This is me giving you flowers right here, right now. So the city owes Rob Lee gratitude for showcasing people who probably wouldn't be seen in the light at all. Like, I've never been asked to talk about being an artist unless I was exhibiting somewhere and there was an artist talk.
Yeah.
Like, he gave me the opportunity to just talk about whatever I was doing at that moment. That was just about like painting and creating. And it was the first time I've ever opened up and shared with people what the reason why I do it. Like, DuckTales and the purple and teal color. Like, that was the first time I ever explained that out loud to anyone. And like, I will always hold and cherish that. So I just want to say thank you for taking out the time to speak with us. And I hope the listeners of the Don't Judge Me podcast go and jump over to The Truth of This Art and give it a listen as well. He's got a back catalog of 11 million episodes. Some notable people. Oh, I do have one question for you before we wrap this up. And I have an answer for the question myself. But who is the one person, the one figure that you want to speak with that you haven't already?
That is a tough one. I want to have an actual conversation with Dark Adams. I had sort of, I had one of those part of a panel thing, but it's like, I want to talk to you, dude. Like, just you, me, one-to-one, that conversation. That would be the one right now that's just like popping up. Yeah, that's probably the one. Okay.
I think the perfect interview for you, and excuse my head, not my heart, for not remembering his actual name, but is the thespian that played Bunk on The Wire. That is the perfect.
Wendell Pierce?
Wendell Pierce is the perfect interview for you.
Yes.
I think that's the perfect interview for you. So we're gonna sign off. Do you want to promote, share anything you got going on? What's coming up?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank both of you. This has been like truly a treat. This is like, again, the highlight of my week. And, you know, when I had it on the calendar and I circled it, I was like, it's on the actual like creativity calendar that I have that I got from Creative Pep Talk. I bought a bunch of calendars last year. When it gets to this part of the year, I like to go through and I buy from people's Etsy's or their stores, what have you. Instead of like going to the Amazon, I like to support like the artists in that way. That's just, it's real for me in that way. So that's the thing that I would kind of urge folks to do, actually, you know, sort of using this piece, not necessarily the plug me, The Truth in This Art, find it. It's there. It's on, you know, find it online. My name is attached to it. Rob Lee, Esquire. Don't forget that part. But yeah, definitely support artists in a substantive way. You know, like, it's really hard out there. You have different things that are disappearing, coverage, free speech, all of that stuff is kind of impacting sort of things that like that I do and other people do. It just makes it a bit more challenging. It's so I think being able to support like independent creators who are doing something that matters, whether it be buying from an artist, buying some stickers, buying a calendar, or just hitting the Ko-fi or the Cash App or what have you, and just supporting folks. They're making stuff that makes the world have a bit more seasoning. You know, if the folks that are in power had their say, we had a lot of goofy stuff, a lot of Sora videos of Martin Luther King doing stand-up that doesn't quite work. No. Have something that is actually real. Invest in the real. I think that's sort of what I would say in my philosophy.
Invest in the real. And he is at The Truth in This Art just about everywhere that he can be. Once again, thank you to Rob Lee for joining us on the Don't Judge Me podcast.